understand that.
Yeah.
Wait, how did you do that?
Or is it? Yeah, so my kids in my class, and sometimes they just do the half, like they'll do this and they'll come next to them, like, what am I supposed to do with it?
I can't.
Their fingers are built differently.
Yeah, this.
I feel like it's a gang sign.
No, I was literally about to say that. It's definitely given. Yeah.
Something else when you were growing
Yeah.
up.
That meant Chris.
Yeah.
I think that's why so many Black women are becoming entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
Frankly, I could have been a worker bee. I was raised to be a worker bee. Education indoctrinated me to be a worker bee. But the work world treated me in such a way, I'm going out there to decide to do it for myself.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd be surprised as much as heartened. Like I said, I'm burning out now, and I walked in here with weight on my shoulders, and I was surprised not about what I heard, but that hearing you speak made me feel better. I'm not exactly sure why. Maybe it's just the sense that I'm not so alone. I'm not the only person who's carrying weight or something like that. And when you mentioned, the 3 herniated discs, I was like, yeah, well, I know that one. That too. Like, I've lost a 1/4 inch of height.
Yeah.
Wow. I've gone through 3 rounds of physical therapy, and I know the lack of sleep. And then there's, I'm the high achiever. Speak 4 languages. I've lived in multiple countries. Like, why am I coping? Why am I not coping better? You made me feel better. So thank you.
For sharing your story.
I'm so sick of the hustle of trying to get it. And I feel like normally for me, when I make a goal, I achieve it, and then I set another goal. And then I set another one, and a bigger one. And all of us here, we've gotten them, right? We've achieved those goals. So then when do you say enough is enough? And when do you stop seeking validation from the outside and then decide, okay, I'm going to fulfill myself? That's why I decided about the farm and even a triple wide trailer. And it's not that I don't want a beautiful home, but when I started looking at what it could do for my lifestyle, I said, I like my daughter close to me. I don't need a big house for us to go live in different corners of it. I like growing food. I like having my feet in the soil. So for me, having a smaller house in a warmer climate would just give me so much happiness and satisfaction.
With regard to this idea of like rest in community, I think because we have been conditioned to, you have to go to school, you have to get a job, you have to be able to take care of yourself in the event that you don't find partnership, we move as individuals, right? But I think that if we're at a place and in a space where we can actually rest and rely on community, whether that's male partnership, whether that's, relying a little bit more on our parents, having our parents rely on us, finding friendships, where we can say to somebody like, hey, I'm having a hard time today. Can you, if you're a mother, can you help me, watch my child, right? Because sometimes I feel like people make it seem as if you ask for help, then you're too weak. If you ask for help, you're not good enough. If you ask for help, you're not self-sufficient. If you ask for help, you're not putting to use the degree of the job or the income that you have. And so finding rest and community is really about having people around you who don't judge you for needing a break, who don't judge you for asking for help. And also having people around you who realize when you need help, even if you don't know how to ask for it.
Right.
I know I self-isolate when I feel stressed out, when I'm really anxious. And some of my closest friends are people who recognize that I'm like a tad bit too quiet. That they haven't really heard from me. And it's not because they're expecting me to entertain them or do anything with them or for them, but they're just, they kind of tap in and check in with me to say like, you don't seem to be yourself. Is there something I can do to help you? And so I feel like that requires us to have people around us who are not judging us for needing rest and for needing help and for recognizing when we actually need that, even if we don't recognize it for ourselves.
Yeah.
That also requires us to let go of people who won't allow us to be whole.
That part, girl.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right?
That part.
Because there are people that I love in places, that I worked really hard to be, that I had to let go of to be whole. Like, who would you be if you really had all the care, the rest that you could really be if you had everything that you needed.
Mm-hmm.
It means being your best self when you wake up in the morning.
And what would the world look like, right? Like
Yeah.
even us four right here.
Yeah.
What would the world look like if we were rested
Rested.
and had the resources that we needed?
Yeah.
Like one of my
So-
sci-fi books.
Dream.
Yeah.
Life is information,
Mm-hmm.
right? So you can say that you want to do something, set a goal and accomplish it. But if you didn't have all the information at the time that you set the
Yeah.
goal,
Yeah.
you know, it's common sense to reevaluate it,
Yeah.
right? It's just that I had to change. Well, when I stopped being judgmental of other people, it allowed me to be less judgmental of myself,
Yeah.
Yes.
right? If I give other people grace, then I'm entitled to that same grace. And empathy, man, empathy.
And I think we've already done enough. Whatever we've done, however far we've gotten, it's enough. If we don't do one more thing walking out of this room, we are very highly successful, amazing women. You could stop right now. Really, you could, and relax and not do anything else. I think that's part of this resistance, right? Like, if we have that in our mind, then maybe we don't have so much pressure on ourselves to keep going, grinding for what? Come live on the farm with me.
Yeah.